Hi, everybody. This is acyuta-bhava from Nightlight Astrology. It is Friday, December 20th, and today I'm taking a look at the lunar applications coming through tonight and into tomorrow. Before I do that, I want to remind you that I have 11 days left in my annual Kickstarter. We're doing really well. We passed last year's backer record, which is awesome, and we are cruising toward a stretch goal of 500 backers. That'll set the bar really high for next year. Secretly, I was always kind of hoping this year we'd get to 500, but I figured the most modest goal was to see if we could surpass last year's total. So we've done that. We're, I think, at 444 backers now, something like that. We're heading towards 500 if possible. So please help pitch in if you can. If you appreciate this channel, share, subscribe, like, all of that helps as well. And remember, when you donate, pick up a reward reading. I have tarot reading, an I Ching reading, a year ahead astrology reading. And then I have a couple of other reading options you can bundle together as gifts for friends. I have a video on mantra meditation, on lunar tracking, exclusively available for people who donate. And also, obviously, my courses are hugely discounted. They're 50% off. So I kind of just do a fire sale to help me raise money for the year ahead. And I hope that you continue to enjoy the content on my channel in 2020. And I really deeply thank you for your support. Okay, so pretty big evening of astrology upon us because, whoops, here we go. We have the moon in the sign of Libra, and the moon is currently moving into a square with Saturn in Capricorn. And then let's add in the outer planets. And we can see that we've also got Pluto in the mix. So the moon tonight's going to go through squares to Saturn and Pluto. You might already be feeling that, in fact, today. And then after that, the moon will then gradually be working into a sextile with the sun. So we've got harmony between the lights right now, which is good. Harmony between the lights at any part of the lunar cycle means that the higher intentions of the soul, sun, or the path of motion that the sun is implying in our lives, has support from the environment, has support from circumstances and fated elements and encounters, from the flow of energy or karma. The disseminating sextile has a way of helping us come to conclusions, of tying up loose ends, of completing things, completing tasks, enjoying the fruit of our labor, also successfully starting to purge, let go of things, differentiate things. It's definitely a healing transit that can mean that you're finally starting to let go of something that's no longer serving you and starting to maybe feel better about it. So that's all in the air right now because of this disseminating or waning sextile between the moon and the sun. And that's gonna perfect into tomorrow morning. So overall, positive, supportive, but there is a bit of a roadblock. Here's the roadblock. Saturn, right? Coming into this late afternoon, you've got a square to Saturn in Capricorn. The moon is in the overcoming or superior position, which means the moon in Libra is exerting its dominance over Saturn, but is getting struck with a ray from Saturn in the process. So this should be maybe a more traditional but pleasant or enjoyable atmosphere later on today into this evening, with the potential for some roadblocks, hindrances, or unexpected blockages from Saturn. You could also think of this, generally speaking, as moon in Libra exalts Saturn, is the exaltation of Saturn, whereas Saturn in Capricorn is the detriment of the moon. So something that you really want, desire, or have some attachment to, that you're moving toward that later today may not have the response that you're hoping it will have, or may not give you what you're hoping for in return. But also, if there's blockages, bad news, difficulties, etc., the pleasant moon in Libra in Venus's sign should overcome the blockage overall and find a constructive way of working through it. You're also looking at a more traditional or conservative energy in the air, though, with it's kind of like Downton Abbey. It's like conservative, but like pleasant. You know what I mean? Like, so have you ever seen that show? Then as the evening wears on, you've got a square from the moon to Pluto taking place. This will take place before the end of the night. And that square to Pluto is, again, in the moon in the sort of superior position. I'm not sure how much that really applies with outer planets. Frankly, it's a Hellenistic concept. I toy with it. But the basic idea here is Moon Pluto square. What does that mean? Okay, so the environment, moon, generally represents the changing field around us because it moves very quickly and is picking up lights and disseminating information from all the other planets all the time. So it's like the great mirror in the sky. What's in the mirror? What do we see? Well, here we're going to see some kind of deeper, more transformative, heavy, dark, or intense feeling or energy. But again, with the moon in the superior position in a rather nice sign like Libra, we may be dealing with it in a slightly more passive way, or we might be finding a pleasant diplomatic or harmonious solution. But you watch for that potential for there to be a deeper, heavier, more transformative, darker, purgative kind of energy in the air tonight. And also, a thing you have to be really careful for with Libra always, people who have Libra rising, people who have Libra moons, anything like that, is always the potential for triangulation. One thing that Librans are classic at doing, like what does a narcissistic Libra look like? Just, because every sign can have this side to it, not to pick on Libras, but a narcissistic Libran energy, you could say, psychologically speaking, is one that is overly concerned about what everyone or anyone thinks about him or herself, and tends to try to drive wedges between people if one feels like there is any threat coming from a matrix of relationships. For example, in a family, if there's a bunch of siblings, or if there's multiple parents, like step parents and stuff like that, sometimes one person's feeling a little insecure about how others feel about them. They'll triangulate and try to play people against one another so that they don't have to risk not being liked, or so that they can paint themselves into being a victim, or so that they can, um, try to gain the favor or respect of someone that they feel insecure about. So you just have to be really careful of all the sort of manipulative, triangulating games that the moon and Libras want to play tonight, potentially, and into tomorrow, early morning anyway. The other thing you have to be really careful for with moon and Libra is people who are trying to be neutral, objective mediators who are not neutral, objective mediators, but have an agenda. So when people say, I'm here to support you, I really, I really just want the best for everyone in this situation, they subtly have an agenda. Like when people reach out just to be neutral, that's a problem. Because people reaching out just to be neutral are not really, most of the time, they're not neutral. If they're like, I just need to reach out and talk to you and let you know how I feel or where I stand or what my opinion is or whatever, just so you know that I'm, but just so you know, I'm here for you. I whatever you think. So it's, classic Libran stuff, where the Libra energy tends to get overly involved or may tend to meddle with other people, slightly trying to passively manipulate the situation or control the situation in these seemingly pleasant ways. And that can be really exacerbated by the square to Pluto this evening. So watch for that kind of stuff. You can see it's nice when you're an astrologer because it's like you can see it from a mile away. So and sometimes it still gets you, but when the moon's in Libra, when Mars was in Libra, God, that was really fun. When Mars is in Libra, stuff like that, that the potential for that triangulation dynamic is there, and the potential for people to sort of passively try to influence the way that you do things or think about things. So beware of the false mediator, the false objective person, that kind of presents something tonight. Be careful yourself not to meddle. Be careful yourself not to meddle. And the other thing is that moon in Libra square to Saturn and Pluto collectively this evening is about trying to make some difficult judgments and setting difficult boundaries, but needing to do so for the sake of peace or pleasantness. That's the moon in Libra as well. So watch for these things and tell me your stories. I'd love to hear your stories in the comments section. Remember, overall, the energy right now is very constructive because we do have harmony between the lights. And that harmony between the lights, let's see, when does it perfect? It's going to be like early tomorrow morning. right? And then the moon goes into Scorpio over the weekend, where it's going to be in its fall. A pretty intense energy coming in, Saturday, say all the way to what, like, you got moon opposite Uranus tomorrow afternoon, and then gradually the moon in Mars's sign in its fall, applying to a conjunction with Mars. And this is going to happen, what, like by Sunday evening. Right. And then the moon doesn't clear that Marsy range with the opposition to Uranus until Monday. So a little bit of tough sledding over the weekend with Mars and the moon sign, a little bit more tempestuous or volatile, but the things that are revealing themselves are very important. It's a very deep level of letting go, disillusionment, some degree of destruction that comes with Mars and moon in the same sign, unexpected shakeups with the opposition to Uranus early or tomorrow morning. But then by Monday morning, the moon switches into Sagittarius, and that's when we get into that balsamic moon phase. And the moon is in Jupiter's sign, and we're heading towards a conjunction with Jupiter on the new moon solar eclipse on Christmas. So the corner we're turning over the weekend, things are coming together, some difficult judgments and decisions we have to make, boundaries we have to set, careful that we're not meddling or being meddled with. And then we hit this moment of really deep cathartic transformation over the weekend, followed by a really fresh new beginning. It feels really Jupiterian right after Christmas. So that's what's coming. Thank you guys for listening. I hope that this was helpful. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me how your experiences are synced up with these planetary movements. And remember, you've all the way until December 31st to donate. We're trying to get to 500 backers. That's our stretch goal. See if we can get there. Thank you so much for your help, and take care. Bye.